Damn, y'all. It's not looking too good for Buddy. This man can potentially cross over to the other side. The man Rampage Jackson's son put into the hospital.
You never know. Y'all keep playing with me and I'll go right and take it.
Raja Jackson's victim is done being silent. After nearly losing his life in front of a live wrestling crowd, veteran fighter Stu Smith isn't just recovering, he's fighting back. And this time, the battle won't be inside a ring, it'll be in a courtroom. Reports are now surfacing that Smith plans to sue Raja Jackson for the brutal beating, and if this lawsuit sticks, it could completely destroy Raja's career before it even begins. But the legal firestorm doesn't end there, because the case could reach deeper than anyone expected, pulling in Rampage Jackson himself, Knox Pro Wrestling, and even other wrestlers who fueled the chaos that night. And what Stu just revealed about his next move has the entire wrestling world bracing for impact. When news first broke of the attack, fans didn't know if Stu Smith would even survive. His injuries were devastating. Broken bones, shattered teeth, memory loss, and a face so damaged that doctors described it as life-altering. Many thought his wrestling career, and maybe even his life, were over. But against all odds, Stu fought through. From his hospital bed, his first words weren't anger or blame, they were gratitude. "Thank you for the love and support," he said in a shaky statement. Those simple words set the internet on fire. Within hours, wrestlers, fans, and even massive names like Mr. Beast rushed to his side. A GoFundMe was launched, donations poured in, and the entire wrestling community rallied behind him. Yet behind that humble message, Stu's camp was preparing something much bigger. Because gratitude was only the first step. The next was lashing out in the most powerful way possible. Through the legal system. Not long after Stu's recovery updates, whispers started circulating that he wasn't going to just move on. He was gearing up for a civil lawsuit against Raja Jackson, the man who put him in the hospital. And when you look at the details, the case against Raja could be devastating. Legal experts say Stu has more than enough grounds to sue. The injuries alone, medical bills, surgeries, dental reconstruction, could total hundreds of thousands of dollars. Add in pain and suffering, emotional trauma, and loss of income, and the damages could easily climb into the millions. Some even speculate Stu's lawyers may push for punitive damages, meant not just to cover costs, but to punish Raja for reckless violence. But here's the part that has fans stunned. Stu's lawsuit might not stop at Raja, because depending on how his legal team frames it, this case could expand to target Rampage Jackson and even Knox Pro Wrestling. And that's where things get truly explosive. At first, it seemed like the lawsuit would be strictly between Stu and Raja, but then Rampage Jackson made things worse for himself. In the immediate aftermath of the attack, Rampage didn't condemn his son. He went live on a stream and defended him, ranting that wrestlers had been messing with his son's DNA. Then came the line that sent shockwaves across social media. "I'm the only one who can mess with my son. Nobody else on this planet better touch him." Those words weren't just shocking, they could be damaging in court. Lawyers could argue that Rampage's comments show a culture of violence, and that he wasn't just defending Raja, but encouraging that kind of behavior. In civil law, that can open the door to arguments about parental liability, or even Rampage being named in the lawsuit as a co-defendant. And if Rampage tries to financially back Raja's defense, Stu's legal team could spin it as the Jackson family protecting their own instead of protecting justice. Suddenly, Rampage's role isn't just as the father of the attacker, it's as someone whose own words and actions could be dissected in a courtroom. After the backlash to his shocking livestream, Rampage Jackson realized he may have gone too far. Just days later, he posted a statement on X. "I don't condone my son's actions at all." It was short, it was blunt, and it was clearly damage control. But here's the problem. In the court of law, your first reaction often speaks louder than your second. Lawyers could argue that Rampage's immediate instinct was to protect his son, not to condemn violence. And that inconsistency could be devastating if Stu's legal team decides to drag Rampage into the case. Fans were split. Some believed Rampage's apology was sincere, others thought it was just PR cleanup. But one thing was clear, Stu's lawsuit meant every word Rampage spoke was now being replayed and scrutinized. And Rampage wasn't the only one feeling the heat. Former UFC fighter and longtime Rampage ally Brendan Schaub stunned listeners when he admitted he couldn't defend Raja Jackson. "I got nothing," Schaub said on his podcast. "You can't defend this." For Rampage, this was a massive blow. When even your closest friends are walking away, it signals that the public narrative is shifting fast. And Schaub went even further. He speculated that Stu's lawsuit could pave the way for felony assault charges against Raja. That's a huge deal, because civil lawsuits are about money, damages, compensation, financial accountability. But felony assault, that's criminal. That could mean prison time. And suddenly, this wasn't just a family scandal, it was a potential career-ending legal disaster. The details of the attack itself only make Stu's legal argument stronger. Wrestler Douglas Mallow, who was there that night, described the scene in graphic detail. He said Stu was choking on his own teeth and blood, gasping for life as medics rushed in. The ring wasn't a stage anymore, it was a crime scene. And here's where the legal system gets cold and calculating. Every broken bone, every missing tooth, every doctor's bill, it all gets tallied up. Lawyers call it damages, and they're exactly what juries use to decide how much money a victim deserves. The worse the injuries, the higher the payout. And Stu's injuries, they're catastrophic. One legal analyst even claims Stu could sue for loss of future earnings, meaning the money he would have made from wrestling shows, appearances, and signings he can't do anymore. That alone could add hundreds of thousands on top of the medical bills. Here's where it gets even messier. Knox Pro Wrestling, the promotion where the attack happened, may not be able to escape responsibility. According to multiple wrestlers, the promotion allegedly tried to silence witnesses after the attack. Mallow claimed Knox Pro staff were pressuring people not to speak publicly. If that's true, lawyers could argue that the promotion failed to protect its talent and then tried to cover it up. That could open them up to a negligence lawsuit, meaning Stu could sue both Raja and Knox Pro at the same time. And think about it, a wrestling promotion, already not swimming in huge money, facing a multi-million-dollar negligence lawsuit, that could shut the whole company down overnight. Then there's AJ Mana. Douglas Mallow didn't just accuse Raja, he pointed fingers at Mana, saying he helped hype Raja into a frenzy before the attack. If Stu's lawyers can prove that Mana incited or encouraged Raja's actions, he could get named in the lawsuit too. This is how lawsuits snowball. What starts as one man versus his attacker can evolve into a sweeping case involving everyone who had a hand in the violence or its cover-up. And that's exactly the storm Stu seems to be preparing for. Meanwhile, the celebrity world is reacting. Mr. Beast himself offered to help with medical bills, saying no one should have to suffer like this. Fans rallied, donations poured in, and Stu's GoFundMe surged past expectations. But here's where it gets symbolic. Douglas Mallow actually challenged Rampage Jackson to a charity boxing match. He wants Rampage in the ring one-on-one to raise money for Stu's recovery. It's not official yet, but the fact that wrestlers are willing to publicly call out Rampage shows just how toxic this situation has become. At the end of the day, Stu Smith isn't just a victim anymore. He's a fighter on a new battlefield. His lawsuit could cost Raja Jackson millions, cripple a wrestling promotion, and drag one of MMA's biggest legends through the mud. And if felony charges follow, Raja could be facing not just financial ruin, but prison time. This is no longer just about one violent night. It's about accountability in combat sports. It's about whether wrestlers are truly protected or left to fend for themselves in a system that glorifies violence until it turns real. And as the case heats up, one thing's clear. Raja Jackson's career might be over before it ever really started. So where do you think? Should Stu go after just Raja? Or should he expand the lawsuit to Knox Pro, AJ Mana, and even Rampage Jackson himself? And if felony charges get filed, do you think Raja deserves prison time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story is only getting bigger.